Hello, this is Jen Mitchell Love from Salis Divorce Mediation. Today's live is all about being intentional and really thinking about your self talk when you are going through the divorce journey. And today I did two first mediation sessions, and I love that space because in the beginning of the Salis journey, before we talk about all the legal stuff, we set intentions. And that's what this video is about, is the power of intention. So when you speak something that you desire, when you think something that you desire, that has energy and that has power. And when you're going through the divorce journey, you are experiencing a lot of very uncomfortable emotions that can be very, very difficult, such as resentment or anger, disappointment, frustration. And I think just in our human consciousness, the energy and the thoughts that surround divorce, can be very scary. Where I've talked about this before, where people think, oh, it has to be a battle, it has to be destructive, we're going to spend all of our money, our kids are going to be negatively impacted, we're going to hate each other after. And like I've shared before, I can understand where those thoughts come from and those beliefs come from. But the way that energy works, the more you focus on something, that is what you are actively co-creating. So I encourage you, if you are going through a divorce or thinking about going through a divorce, to really take time to sit with yourself and think about, what kind of divorce experience do you want to have with your spouse? How do you want it to look and how do you want it to feel? And what are the beliefs that you are going to be attaching to this experience? You can set intentions if children are involved for your kids. How do you want this to feel for your children? How do you want your children to feel in this co-parenting upbringing? How do you want your children to feel when both parents are in the same room or in the same space? And so when you can shift your thoughts and you can shift to a space of being intentional, of really truly focusing energies from your thoughts and from the words that you share to yourself or to others, and you can be intentional and really shift that into a space of what you want. And when you're focusing on all the good things that you want it to be a peaceful journey. You want to shift from the container of marriage into another space of relationship in a mindful and loving way. You want to keep the focus on your children, on their well-being, on their happiness. And you want to do what needs to be done to make sure that your family remains a family and feels good in this new dynamic. Intentions for the mediation process, if you choose to mediate. My intention for this space is to really work together, to listen to one another, to share my truth, and to have my truth be heard by my partner, and for me to hear the truth of my partner. If you're going to mediate with Salis, then there could be a different, a deeper intention of, my intention is to use this safe and supported mediation container in a way where I can give myself the time and space that I need to really understand the reflections that my partner is showing to me, and really understand the feelings that I am feeling and recognize and learn where those feelings come from. What is the underlying belief for those feelings? And when you're doing this intentional work, when you're setting these intentions and you're being mindful, you're going to be regulating your nervous system. You're not going to be so heightened because you're not going to feel fear. You're going to be feeling the energy of the intention that you are sharing. And so that whole intention, the conscious creation of what you desire, is shifting the whole divorce experience. And it's moving from a destructive space to more of a collaborative, more mindful, more conscious space. And this can really transform not only your divorce journey, but it can transform your entire life. So if you are going through a divorce, I encourage you to set some intentions, for what you want this divorce journey to be, because divorce presents as it should when it should for every person, and it is here to teach you things. And it is a massive shattering, and it's a death of every previous version of yourself. And it also, because of the darkness, because of how difficult it is a massive catalyst for transformation of self, to really, really use this time, use this container intentionally, and to learn as much as you can from this experience, and to release the attachments you're having to your spouse. And I'm not meaning romantic, or I mean, possibly it could be romantic, but it's the attachments to the feeling, and really shift into a space of clarity and of healing and of growth and of empowerment. So I encourage you to set intentions. I am here if you need any help, and I would love to hear what presents after you set your intentions, how things change, how things flow differently, because it won't take long for you to see some in your external reality, for you to see some validation for the intentions that you have set. Have a beautiful evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Mwah.